and Steve was on the show. And then Joe approached Niles and said, look, we have a couple of choices. I took it to an agent for a major publisher, and they said, Lance, could you talk a little bit more about your divorce in the book? I mean, like, what? Where did that come from? And I realized I'm not going to be publishing with somebody that's looking for an extravaganza of abuse and neglect and, you know, all this ego crap, you know, that, you know, anyway, don't get me started. Because I'll launch right from that into politics. You know, you don't want to go there. But Steve was, we had lunch at a little place called Patty's. Hi. And talked about it, and he said, I want to be the one that you know, that puts out the limited edition, the hardback. And so we did. It was an immediate marriage of ideas. We really wanted it to be that way. So long, fellas. I always feel like I've let people down. That's why I'm saying it down. You know? But Steve Niles is very creative. He's always got deadlines, and he's always working on the next project, which is, he's doing movies now, more movies, and he's writing a lot. And there's a guy named Alex Lodemeyer, who was his right-hand man, who lives up in Salt Lake. And I went and saw him too. I drove up to Salt Lake and met with him. And it was just it was really the kind of people I like to work with and deal with, because they were down to earth, and it was about how are we going to make something accessible to people, you know, and it happened to be my biography. And I was grateful for that, but you know, here we are, and the book is out, and it's doing really well. Everywhere I've gone so far on this book tour, we've absolutely sold out, and now it's on Amazon Kindle Nook and the iPad, so. That's sick. I'm getting sick, man. That's really sick. All right, now, can we turn it,
Yeah, we're absolutely going to turn it over.
Can we turn it over to you guys?
I did want to ask, though, before we do, because everyone's got their homework, and their homework is to read your biography.
Yeah.
You were selling it at your table, correct?
Yeah.
And how much is it?
35 bucks.
35 bucks. So, and does that come with an autograph?
Yep.
There you go. You get a book and an autograph for 35 bucks.
And
that ain't bad.
I'll write every family member's name in it, too, I promise you.
And at this point, obviously, since Fan Expo is called Fan Expo, and it is all about you guys, the fans, I want to turn the interview over to you. So if you've got a question, raise your hand, and then what I'll do is, just so everyone can hear your question, I'm going to repeat it, and then Lance will answer.
Before we do that, I never think of I have a Facebook page, and we have a lot of people on the Facebook page, and we've all come to this conclusion. We're not fans, we're a tribe. That's a whole different deal. That's how I feel about you guys. We are a tribe. We're sharing a lot of similar ideas. So that's cool stuff. Anyway, yeah.
The question was, do you keep in contact with Chris Carter, the creator of Millennium?
One of the things that's happening right now is our tribe base, our fan base, tribe base, whatever, all over the world, they're sending cards and letters to Fox Studios to get the Millennium film made. And there's a website called Back to Frank Black, and we're really working on it. And Chris Carter wants to do it. He doesn't know how it's going to happen, whether it's going to be in theaters or is it going to be a special on either Fox or HBO. We don't know. But so does Frank Spotnitz, who was one of the producers. So that's really in the works. And I'm ready to do it. A lot's happened since 2000. Remember the last thing in the show was that when it flips over, the world's going to end, you know, computers are going to crash. Well, look at all that's happened since 9/11. The world is completely altered. And so there's all the more reason to do something with some dignity and intelligence. So we're really ready to do it. Oh, you pick. You pick. Yeah. You're the last one I'm picking. I'm just kidding.
It was really interesting to see that you were actually do that apart in like Dog Day Afternoon, right? Like I know that was a while back, but when you finished that movie, what did you think was going to be next? What did you think was going to happen next in your career?
He was asking after Dog Day Afternoon, what did I think was going to happen next in terms of a career move or a movie or something. The ironic twist to that is Sidney Lumet was a wonderful man. He passed away not long ago, but he was a true New Yorker in the sense that if I was a New York actor, he embraced young New York actors. I could have shot my whole role in that movie in about 3 days. And he would always turn to a young actor and say, look, you're only on for 3 days, but I'm going to give you run of the show, which means I got paid for 8 weeks or 10 weeks. He wanted to make sure you had an apartment, because I was sleeping on people's couches back in those days. But anyway, before the movie was over, in answer to your question, I had already met with Steven Spielberg, and he offered me Close Encounters to be in it. And I worked on that movie for 6 months, and I'm on screen for a minute and a half. But I learned how to fly, and I made scale plus 10, so by the time I got back to New York, I actually got an apartment. That's how we measure our life in dessert spoons, I got an apartment.
All right, we'll do red shirt.
Hi, is there an audiobook edition of your book?
Is there an audiobook edition of your book?
Can you imagine me talking about myself on an audiobook? I don't really have the ego for that one. I really don't. Somebody else's life, oh yeah, I'll give him all kinds of gravitas and meaning and romance and all that. But myself, I'd be like, oh man, this is too much. You look. I should never say never, but no, I know.
All right, there was a question over here at the front. Yeah, you.
Last year on the Back to the Right Flashback site around Christmas, there was a conversation that was recorded at Christmas time. Your folks are wondering
What it was like?
Yeah, because it had been a long time since you had talked.
Yeah, Megan Gallagher, and the biggest surprise was my little girl in that, Brittany Tippity, and she is now 21 and looks the same and is a really bright woman. But I mean, something else happened along those lines. 2 weeks ago, Jim Cameron and Sigourney and Bill Paxton and all of us got together in LA and did a photo shoot for Entertainment Weekly that's going to come out in October. It's the 25th anniversary of Aliens. So that man, it was unbelievable to be in the same room with these guys after not seeing them for a while, and we all felt like we had finished the movie yesterday. It was that kind of feeling, like very friendly, very nice. But in answer to that question, we did a podcast also with Chris Carter and Frank Spotnitz and other people, all discussing what we would see in a Millennium film. So everybody's still in contact. It's really, I guess there's something resonating about that Millennium show that may make this happen. I wouldn't sit here and lie to you that I'm certain it's going to happen, but I know that all the forces are moving in that direction. That's all I can tell you.
In the green shirt.
Do you have any stories about the movie Stone Cold?
Yeah.
Would you care to share with us a story about the movie Stone Cold?
Stone Cold, Brian Bosworth. He played football for Seattle. Big, huge guy with blonde hair, and had a manager. And the manager thought he could create a movie star out of Brian Bosworth. Right? So Bosworth gets his script. He's an undercover cop, and he infiltrates this guy named Change's motorcycle club, which is the Brotherhood. And when I met him, one of the things that happened during that movie was every line that I had in the original script was direct